So, last night was a battle of the veterans versus the young up-and-coming rookies of the Toronto Maple Leafs, which are a really fun team to watch. I had no idea the Leafs are so fast. And yes, the Leafs are my second team, so I should know that, but I barely watched hockey this year because I've been really busy. But this was a very fast-paced game. The Leafs could almost hang with the Penguins. They almost matched their speed, and the Leafs came out of the first period with a 1-0 lead. They came flying out of the gate. Frederik Andersen was in net, and he was great. And I was so surprised because they had played last night or the night before, and I thought, wow, they're playing so well on a back-to-back. But then the Penguins do what they did best. They tied it up on the power play. Geno Malkin, great goal from Bang Bang, Chris Letang, and now he's leading the team with 15 points in 15 games. A great start to his season, as does Chris Letang. He has 9 points in 10 games. A great start to his. So, Penguins tied up. It stays 1-1 for most of the game, and then, the Leafs are really giving it to them. They're playing pretty well. They're matching their speed, and then right at the end of the period, 16 seconds left, Brian Rust getting in there against Scrambly, and Chris Kunitz, the garbage man, does it again, picks up Rust's garbage, gets Frederik Andersen's rebound, pop in the net, 2-1 lead into the third period. And the third period, the Penguins put on a clinic. 20 shots, 49 shots overall in the game on a tired team, on a goalie who had played the night before, and the Leafs fatigue really started to show in the third. They started to lose the puck battles that they had done so well in the first two periods. The Penguins kept pressing, but the Leafs looked tired, and the Penguins penalty killers did a great job, especially Malkin got the 4-minute penalty against Mitch Marner, made him bleed, and Matt Murray also was up to the task. The Leafs had 3 high-scoring shorthanded opportunities in the same penalty kill. The Penguins' power play was abysmal. Don't know what the top line was doing. 2 of them were breakaways, and Murray stoned all 3. You had Bozak, you had Komarov, you had someone else coming in there, and Murray was up to the task, was incredible. That actually might have been when it was 1-1, and then Kunitz scored. I don't know, but Murray, those were the saves of the game. If those had gone in, it's a whole different game, and who knows, the Penguins might not have won. But Murray held the fort. He alone had 35 shots, so it's not like the Penguins were very stingy defensively either, and that has been a problem. This team has given up way more shots than there should under Mike Sullivan's system, and a big part of that is because they have had penalty trouble, and Malkin has been one of the reasons, which is why Malkin is so fascinating but so infuriating, because he'll make an incredible play, and then he'll get a penalty like he did in this game. Luckily, the team was able to bail him out. They were more disciplined tonight. Overall, in terms of penalties, or last night, which is good, but definitely they're taking too many penalties, and they really have to cut down on those goals, especially in the power play. You can't let 3 players get it all alone on your goalie shorthanded like that. It just can't happen. But Murray was incredible. He's now played 2 in a row. No goalie has played 3 in a row this season, so I'll be curious to see if he starts the next game. But he's well on his way to where he left off. He's 4-0 so far this season. He's looking really good. He's got less than a 2 goals against average and like a 9.6 or some ridiculous save percentage, but he's playing really well. And then you have Tristan Jarry in the AHL who's killing it. So he looks like he can be the goalie of the future. So when Marc-Andre Fleury gets traded, because he will, you're going to have 2 really solid goalies for the Penguins. Not a bad problem to have. Young, cheap goalies for a long, long time. Ray Shero did not do a lot of drafting very well, but that was something that he did very well, was getting those 2 guys. Final score was 4-1. Brian Rust puts the dagger in the heart of the Leafs after he gets Andersen's rebound, goes right around him, no idea what Komarov is doing. Bam, nice goal in the net, 3-1. Brian Rust with the mustache, loving it. And Crosby would effectively put the dagger in after he gets his own greasy goal by going hard to the net and grinding, and that is the kind of thing that the Leafs have to learn as a young team. It was all over the papers today. The Penguins know how to win. They not only have the skill, but they have the guys, the competent bums, as Steve Dangle likes to say, that can grind to the net and get you those hard-nosed wins. Crosby's really done that a lot lately. Of course, he has that skill, that incredible skill, but Mike Babcock referred to him as the world's best grinder, which he is, because he plays a hard game, but also a skilled game. Malkin can do the same thing. Like, Tang is a beast. You have Horny, who lives in the crease. Kunitz, same thing. The garbage garbage man, I call him. So Brian Russ, Scott Wilson, Kuhnhackl, these young guys, Matt Cullen, Eric Fair, an incredibly skilled team, but also a team that's very versatile, can play in all facets of the game. I thought Crosby does what Crosby did best. He had an incredible game. I like that Mike Sullivan reunited all the lines from the playoffs because that was what made them work, and they weren't doing so well this season, but you really saw the early goings of that. HBK line looked really good early on. They kind of faltered later, but I really do like that line, so hopefully they stick together and get something going. Although neither of them had a point, but they did look good in the early going. Crosby, of course, had an incredible game. Connor Sheary, I thought, had a great game. Snake bitten, he had a couple really good chances, but he is a guy who's shown that just because you're small doesn't mean you should be counted out. And he was signed as a free agent, and he's become a huge part of this team. That was an incredible signing. I think it was also done by ratio, so I got to hand it to him. And then, of course, Tom Kuhnhackl was filling back in, and he got a tough matchup. So that line typically has a tough matchup, but I thought overall it was a very solid game. Letang again was a beast out there. Dumoulin's looking better. Mata and Daly, I don't really like that pairing. They were good in playoffs, but I feel like, I don't know, they're not really up to par yet this year. And Dumoulin also, I think he was injured, but he's slowly getting his game back and he's playing better. And of course, the third pairing has been really solid. So that's all I have for this game. Please like if you like, subscribe if you really like it, share with all your friends, tell everyone, and I'll see you after the next game. All right, let's go Penguins.